Job chapter 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His possessions also were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 pairs of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and very many servants. And that man was the greatest of all the sons of the east. His sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each one on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Now it happened when the days of feasting had completed their cycle, that Job would send and set them apart as holy. And he would rise up early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "Perhaps my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus Job did continually. Now it was the day that the sons of God came to stand before Yahweh, and Satan also came among them. And Yahweh said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." Then Yahweh said to Satan, "Have you set your heart upon my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil." And Satan answered Yahweh and said, "Does Job fear God without cause? Have you not made a hedge about him and his house and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But send forth your hand now and touch all that he has. He will surely curse you to your face." Then Yahweh said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your hand, only do not send forth your hand toward him." So Satan went out from the presence of Yahweh. Now it happened that, on the day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother, the firstborn, a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabeans fell upon them and took them. They also struck down the young men with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another also came and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the young men and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another also came and said, "The Chaldeans set up 3 companies and made a raid on the camels, and took them and struck down the young men with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another also came and said, "Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother, the firstborn, and behold, a great wind came from across the wilderness and touched the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they died, and I alone have escaped to tell you." Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh has taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh." Through all this Job did not sin, nor did he give offense to God. Job chapter 2. Again it was the day that the sons of God came to stand before Yahweh, and Satan also came among them to stand himself before Yahweh. And Yahweh said to Satan, "Where do you come from?" Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." And Yahweh said to Satan, "Have you set your heart upon my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil. And he still holds fast his integrity. So you incited me against him to swallow him up in vain." Satan answered Yahweh and said, "Skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has he will give for his life. However, send forth your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh. He will curse you in your face." So Yahweh said to Satan, "Behold, he is in your hand, only spare his life." Then Satan went out from the presence of Yahweh and struck Job with terrible boils from the sole of his foot to the top of his head. And he took a potsherd to scrape himself while he was sitting among the ashes. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the wickedly foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God and not accept calamity?" In all this Job did not sin with his lips. Then Job's 3 friends heard of all this calamity that had come upon him. So they came each one from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. And they made an appointment together to come to console him and comfort him. Then they lifted up their eyes at a distance and did not recognize him, and they lifted up their voices and wept. And each of them tore his robe, and they threw dust over their heads toward the sky. Then they sat down on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights, with no one speaking a word to him, for they saw that his pain was very great. Job chapter 3. Afterward Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. And Job answered and said, Let the day perish on which I was to be born, and the night which said, A man is conceived. May that day be darkness. Let not God seek it from above, nor light shine on it. Let darkness and shadow of death redeem it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. As for that night, let thick darkness take it. Let it not rejoice among the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Behold, let that night be barren. Let no joyful shout enter it. Let those curse it who curse the day, who are ready to rouse Leviathan. Let the stars of its twilight be darkened. Let it hope for light but have none. And let it not see the breaking dawn, because it did not shut the opening of my mother's body, or hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die from the womb? Come forth from the womb and breathe my last. Why did the knees receive me? And why the breasts that I should suck? For now I would have lain down and been quiet. I would have slept then. It would have been rest to me, with kings and with counselors of the earth, who rebuilt waste places for themselves, or with princes who had gold, who were filling their houses with silver. Or why was I not like a miscarriage hidden away, as infants that never saw light? There the wicked cease from raging, and there the weary of strength are at rest. The prisoners are at ease together. They do not hear the voice of the taskmaster. The small and the great are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why is light given to him who is troubled, and life to the bitter of soul, who long for death, but there is none, and dig for it more than for hidden treasures, who are glad with joy, and rejoice when they find the grave? Why is light given to man whose way is hidden, and whom God has hedged in? For my groaning comes at the sight of my food, and my roaring pours out like water. For the dread that I dread comes upon me, and what I am afraid of befalls me. I am not complacent, nor am I quiet, and I am not at rest, and raging comes. Job chapter 4. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If one tries a word with you, will you become weary? But who can hold back from speaking? Behold, you have disciplined many, and you have strengthened limp hands. Your words have helped the stumbling to stand, and you have encouraged feeble knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? Remember now, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the upright wiped out? According to what I have seen, those who plow wickedness, and those who sow trouble harvest it. By the breath of God they perish, and by the wind of his anger they come to an end. The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lions are broken. The lion perishes for lack of prey, and the whelps of the lioness are scattered. Now a word was brought to me stealthily, and my ear received a whisper of it, amid disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night. When deep sleep falls on men, dread came upon me and trembling, and made the multitude of my bones shake in dread. Then a spirit swept by my face, the hair of my flesh bristled up. It stood still, but I could not recognize its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence, then I heard a voice. Can mankind be right before God? Can a man be pure before his Maker? He puts no trust even in his slaves, and against his angels he charges error. How much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed before the moss. Between morning and evening they are broken in pieces. Unobserved, they perish forever. Is not their tent cord pulled up within them? They die, yet without wisdom. Job chapter 5. Call now, is there anyone who will answer you? And to which of the holy ones will you turn? For vexation kills the ignorant fool, and jealousy puts to death the simple. I have seen the ignorant fool taking root, and I cursed his abode suddenly. His sons are far from salvation. They are even crushed in the gate, and there is no deliverer. His harvest the hungry devour, and take it to a place of thorns, and the schemer pants after their wealth. For wickedness does not come out from the dust, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. For man is born for trouble, as sparks fly upward. But as for me, I would seek God, and I would set my cause before God, who does great and unsearchable things, wonders without number. He gives rain on the earth, and sends water on the fields outside, so that he sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to salvation. He frustrates the thoughts of the crafty, so that their hands cannot attain success of sound wisdom. He catches the wise by their own craftiness, and the counsel of the twisted is quickly thwarted. By day they meet with darkness, and grope at noon as in the night. But he saves from the sword of their mouth, and the needy from the hand of the strong. So the poor has hope, and unrighteousness must shut its mouth. Behold, how blessed is the man whom God reproves. So do not reject the discipline of the Almighty. For he inflicts pain and gives relief. He wounds, and his hands also heal. From 6 distresses he will deliver you. Even in 7 evil will not touch you. In famine he will redeem you from death, and in war from hands with swords. You will be hidden from the scourge of the tongue, and you will not be afraid of devastation when it comes. You will laugh at devastation and starvation, and you will not be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For your covenant will be with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field will be at peace with you. You will know that your tent is at peace, for you will visit your abode and fear no loss. You will know also that your seed will be many, and your offspring as the vegetation of the land. You will come to the grave in full vigor, like the stacking of grain in its season. Behold this, we have investigated it, and so it is. Hear it and know for yourself. Job chapter 6. Then Job answered and said, Oh, that my vexation were actually weighed, and laid in the balances together with my destruction. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the seas. Therefore my words have been rash. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. Their poison my spirit drinks. The horrors of God are arranged against me. Does the wild donkey bray over his grass? Or does the ox low over his fodder? Can something tasteless be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the slime of a yoke? My soul refuses to touch them. They are like loathsome food to me. Oh, that my request might come to pass, and that God would grant my hope. Would that God were willing to crush me, that he would release his hand and cut me off. But it is still my comfort, and I rejoice in unsparing pain, that I have not at all hidden away the words of the Holy One. What is my strength that I should wait? And what is my end that I should endure? Is my strength the strength of stones? Or is my flesh bronze? Is it that there is no help within me, and that the success of sound wisdom is driven from me? For the despairing man, loving kindness should be from his friend, but he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. My brothers have betrayed me like a wadi, like the torrents of wadis which pass away, which grow dark because of ice, and upon which the snow hides itself. When they become waterless, they are silent. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. The paths of their course wind along. They go up into a formless place and perish. The caravans of Tema looked. The travelers of Sheba hoped for them. They were ashamed, for they had trusted. They came there and were humiliated. Indeed, you have now become such. You see a terror and are afraid. Have I said, give me something? Or offer a bribe for me from your wells? Or give me escape from the hand of the adversary? Ere, redeem me from the hand of the ruthless men. Instruct me, and I will be silent, and cause me to understand how I have erred. How painful are upright words. But what does your reproof prove? Do you think to reprove my words? Or think of the words of one in despair as wind? You would even cast lots for the orphans, and bargain over your friend. So now be willing to face me, and see if I lie to your face. Now turn from this, let there be no unrighteousness. Even turn from this, my righteousness is yet in it. Is there unrighteousness on my tongue? Cannot my palate discern destruction? Job chapter 7. Is not man conscripted to labor on earth? And are not his days like the days of a hired man? As a slave who pants for the shade, and as a hired man who eagerly hopes for his wages, so am I apportioned months of worthlessness, and nights of trouble are appointed me. If I lie down, I say, when shall I arise? But the twilight continues, and I am saturated with tossing until dawn. My flesh is clothed with worms and a crust of dirt. My skin scabs over and flows out again. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and come to an end without hope. Remember that my life is but wind. My eye will not again see good. The eye of him who sees me will behold me no longer. Your eyes will be on me, but I will not be. A cloud vanishes, and it is gone. So he who goes down to Sheol does not come up. He will not return again to his house, nor will his place recognize him any more. Indeed, I will not hold back my mouth. I will speak in the distress of my spirit. I will muse on the bitterness of my soul. Am I the sea or the sea monster, that you set a guard over me? If I say, my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my bitter musing, then you fright me with dreams, and terrify me by visions, so that my soul would choose suffocation, death rather than my pains. I have rejected everything. I will not live forever. Leave me alone, for my days are but a breath. What is man that you magnify him, and that you set your heart on him, that you examine him every morning, and test him every moment? Will you never turn your gaze away from me, nor let me alone until I swallow my spit? Have I sinned? What have I done to you? O watcher of men, why have you set me as your target, so that I am a burden to myself? Why then do you not forgive my transgression, and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down in the dust, and you will seek me earnestly, but I will not be. Job chapter 8. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, How long will you say these things, and the words of your mouth be a mighty wind? Does God pervert justice, or does the Almighty pervert what is right? If your sons sinned against him, then he sent them into the power of their transgression. If you would seek God earnestly, and plead for the grace of the Almighty, if you are pure and upright, indeed now he would rouse himself for you, and make your righteous abode at peace. Though your beginning was insignificant, yet your end will increase greatly. Please ask of past generations, and establish the things searched out by their fathers. For we are only of yesterday and know nothing. Because our days on earth are but a shadow, will they not instruct you and tell you, and bring forth words from their hearts? Can the papyrus grow up without a marsh? Can the rushes grow without water, while it is still green and not cut down? Yet it dries up before any other plant. So are the paths of all who forget God, and the hope of the godless will perish, whose confidence is fragile, and whose trust a spider's web. He relies on his house, but it does not stand. He holds fast to it, but it is not established. He thrives before the sun, and his shoots go forth over his garden. His roots wrap around a rock pile. He looks upon a house of stones. If he swallows him up from his place, then it will deny him, saying, I never saw you. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the dust others will spring. Behold, God will not reject a blameless man, nor will he strengthen the hand of the evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter, and your lips with shouting. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the tent of the wicked will be no longer. Job chapter 9. Then Job answered and said, In truth I know that this is so, but how can a man be in the right before God? If one desired to contend with him, he could not answer him once in 1,000 times. Wise in heart and mighty in power, who has stiffened his neck against him and been at peace? God is the one who removes the mountains, they know not how, when he overturns them in his anger, the one who shakes the earth out of its place, and its pillars tremble, the one who says for the sun not to shine, and sets a seal upon the stars, who alone stretches out the heavens, and tramples down the waves of the sea, who makes the Bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south, who does great things unsearchable, and wondrous works innumerable. Were he to sweep by me, I would not see him. Were he to move past me, I would not perceive him. Were he to snatch away, who could turn him back? Who could say to him, What are you doing? God will not turn back his anger. Beneath him crouch the helpers of Rahab. How then can I answer him, and choose my words before him? For though I were right, I could not answer. I would have to plead for the grace of my judge. If I called and he answered me, I could not believe that he was giving ear to my voice. For he bruises me with a tempest, and multiplies my wounds without cause. He will not allow me to get my breath, but saturates me with bitterness. If it is a matter of power, behold, he is the mighty one. And if it is a matter of justice, who can make him testify? Though I am righteous, my mouth will condemn me. Though I am blameless, he will declare me perverse. I am blameless. I do not know my soul. I reject my life. It is all one. Therefore I say, he consumes the blameless and the wicked. If the scourge puts to death suddenly, he mocks the despair of the innocent. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of its judges. If it is not he, then who is it? Now my days are swifter than a runner. They flee away. They do not see good. They sweep by like reed boats, like an eagle that swoops on its food. Though I say, I will forget my musing. I will forsake my sad countenance and be cheerful. I am afraid of all my pains. I know that you will not acquit me. I am accounted wicked. Why then should I toil in vain? If I should wash myself with snow, and cleanse my hands with lye, yet you would plunge me into the pit, and my own clothes would abhor me. For he is not a man as I am, that I may answer him, that we may go to court for judgment together. There is no adjudicator between us, who may lay his hand upon us both. Let him remove his rod from me, and let not dread of him terrify me. Then I would speak and not fear him, but I am not like that in myself. Job chapter 10. My soul is loathed by my life. I will abandon all restraint in myself to my complaint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, do not account me as wicked. Let me know why you contend with me. Is it good to you that you oppress, that you reject the labor of your hands, and cause the counsel of the wicked to shine forth? Have you eyes of flesh, or do you see as a mortal man sees? Are your days as the days of a mortal man, or your years as man's years, that you should seek for my guilt, and search after my sin? According to your knowledge, I am indeed not wicked, yet there is no deliverer from your hand. Your hands fashioned and made me altogether, and would you swallow me up? Remember now that you have made me as clay, and would you turn me into dust again? Did you not pour me out like milk, and curdle me like cheese, clothe me with skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinews? You have made alongside me life and loving kindness, and your care has kept my spirit. Yet these things you have concealed in your heart. I know that this is within you. If I sin, then you would take note of me, and would not acquit me of my guilt. If I am wicked, woe to me. And if I am righteous, I dare not lift up my head. I am sated with disgrace, so see my misery. Should my head be set on high, you would hunt me like a lion, and again you would show your wonders against me. You renew your witnesses against me, and increase your vexation toward me. Hardship after hardship is with me. Why then have you brought me out of the womb? Would that I had breathed my last, and no eye had seen me. I should have been as though I had not been, carried from womb to tomb. Would he not cease for a few of my days? Withdraw from me that I may have a little before I go, and I shall not return, to the land of darkness and shadow of death, the land of utter gloom, as the thick darkness itself, of the shadow of death without order, and which shines as the thick darkness. Job chapter 11. Then Zophar the Naamathite answered and said, shall a multitude of words go unanswered, and a man of lips be in the right? Shall your boast silence men, and shall you mock and none rebuke? You have said, my learning is pure, and I am innocent in your eyes. But would that God might speak, and open his lips against you, and tell you the secrets of wisdom, for sound wisdom has two sides. Know then that God forgets a part of your iniquity. Can you find the depths of God? Can you find the limits of the Almighty? They are high as the heavens, what can you do? Deeper than Sheol, what can you know? Its measure is longer than the earth, and broader than the sea. If he sweeps by or shuts up, or calls an assembly, who can turn him around? For he knows worthless men, and he sees wickedness, so will he not carefully consider it. Yet an empty-headed man will obtain a heart of wisdom, and the foal of a wild donkey is born a man. If you would set your heart right, and spread out your hand to him, if wickedness is in your hand, put it far away, and do not let unrighteousness dwell in your tents. Then, indeed, you could lift up your face without moral defect, and you would be steadfast and not fear, for you would forget your trouble. As waters that pass by, so you would remember it, and your lifetime would arise brighter than noonday. Darkness would be like the morning. Then you would trust because there is hope, and you would search around and rest securely. You would lie down and none would make you tremble, and many would entreat your favor. But the eyes of the wicked will come to an end, and escape will perish from them, and their hope is the expiring of their soul. Job chapter 12. Then Job answered and said, truly then you are the people, and with you wisdom will die. But I have a heart of wisdom as well as you. I do not fall short of you. And who does not know such things as these? I am a laughingstock to my friends, the one who called on God and he answered him. The righteous and blameless man is a laughingstock. As for upheaval, there is only contempt by the one who acts at ease, but it is prepared for those whose feet slip. The tents of the destroyers are complacent, and those who provoke God are secure, whom God brings into their power. But now ask the beasts, and let them instruct you, and the birds of the sky, and let them tell you. Or muse to the earth, and let it instruct you, and let the fish of the sea recount it to you. Who among all these does not know that the hand of Yahweh has done this, in whose hand is the life of every living thing, and the breath of all the flesh of man? Does not the ear test words? As the palate tastes its food, wisdom is with aged men. With long life is discernment. With him are wisdom and might, to him belong counsel and discernment. Behold, he pulls down, and it cannot be rebuilt. He closes a man in, and it cannot be opened. Behold, he restrains the waters, and they dry up, and he sends them out, and they overturn the earth. With him are strength and sound wisdom. The misled and the misleader belong to him. He makes counselors walk barefoot, and makes fools of judges. He opens the bond of kings, and binds their loins with a belt. He makes priests walk barefoot, and subverts the enduring ones. He removes speech from the faithful, and takes away the discerning taste of the elders. He pours contempt on nobles, and loosens the belt of the strong. He reveals mysteries from the darkness, and brings out the shadows of death into light. He makes the nations great, then makes them perish. He enlarges the nations, then leads them away. He removes the heart of wisdom from the heads of the earth's people, and makes them wander in a pathless waste. They grope in darkness with no light, and he makes them wander about like a drunken man. Job chapter 13. Behold, my eye has seen all this, my ear has heard and understood it. What you know I also know, I have not fallen short of you. But I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to argue with God. But you cover me with lies, you are all worthless physicians. Oh, that you would be completely silent, and that it would become your wisdom. Please hear my argument, and give heed to the contentions of my lips. Will you speak what is unrighteous for God, and speak what is deceitful for him? Will you show partiality for him? Will you contend for God? Will it be well when he examines you? Or will you deceive him as one deceives a man? He will surely reprove you, if you secretly show partiality. Will not his exaltedness terrify you, and the dread of him fall on you? Your memorable sayings are proverbs of ashes. Your defenses are defenses of clay. Be silent before me so that I may speak, then let come on me what may. Why should I take my flesh in my teeth, and put my life in my hands? Though he slay me, I will hope in him. Nevertheless, I will argue my ways before him. This also will be my salvation. For a godless man may not come before his presence. Listen carefully to my words, and let my declaration fill your ears. Behold, now I have arranged my case for justice. I know that I will be declared righteous. Who will contend with me? For now I am silent and will breathe my last. Only two things do not do to me. Then I will not hide from your face. Move your hand far from me, and let not the dread of you terrify me. Then call, and I will answer, or let me speak, then respond to me. How many are my iniquities and sins? Make known to me my transgression and my sin. Why do you hide your face, and think of me as your enemy? Will you cause a driven leaf to tremble, or will you pursue the dry chaff? For you write bitter things against me, and make me to possess the iniquities of my youth. You put my feet in the stocks, and kept watch over all my paths. You set a limit for the soles of my feet, while I am decaying like a rotten thing, like a garment that is moth-eaten. Job chapter 14. A man who is born of woman. He is short-lived and full of turmoil. Like a flower he comes forth and withers. He also flees like a shadow and does not stand. You also open your eyes on him, and bring me into judgment with yourself. Who can make the clean out of the unclean? No one, since his days are determined. The number of his months is with you, and his limits you have set so that he cannot pass. Turn your gaze from him that he may cease from toil, until he accepts his day like a hired man. For there is hope for a tree, when it is cut down, that it will change back sprouting again, and its shoots will not cease, though its roots grow old in the ground, and its stump dies in the dry soil. At the scent of water it will flourish, and put forth sprigs like a plant. But man dies and lies prostrate. Man breathes his last, and where is he? As water evaporates from the sea, and a river becomes parched and dried up, so man lies down and does not rise, until the heavens are no longer. He will not awake, nor be aroused out of his sleep. Oh, that you would conceal me in Sheol, that you would hide me until your anger returns to you, that you would set a limit for me and remember me. If a man dies, will he live again? All the days of my labor I will wait, until my change comes. You will call, and I will answer you. You will long for the work of your hands. For now you number my steps. You do not keep watch over my sin. My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and you cover up my iniquity. But the falling mountain crumbles away, and the rock moves from its place. Water wears away stones. Its torrents wash away the dust of the earth. So you make man's hope perish. You forever overpower him, and he goes away. You alter his appearance and send him away. His sons achieve honor, but he does not know it, or they become insignificant, but he does not perceive it. But his flesh pains him, and he mourns only for himself. Job chapter 15. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, Should a wise man answer with windy knowledge, and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he argue with a word that cannot be used, or with speech which is not profitable? Indeed, you annul reverent fear, and cut off musing before God. For your iniquity teaches your mouth, and you choose the tongue of the crafty. Your own mouth condemns you, and not I, and your own lips answer against you. Were you the first man to be born, or were you brought forth before the hills? Do you hear the secret counsel of God, and cut down wisdom only unto yourself? What do you know that we do not know? What do you understand that is not with us? Both the gray-haired and the aged are among us, older than your father. Are the consolations of God too small for you? Even the words spoken gently with you. Why does your heart take you away? And why do your eyes flash, that you should turn your spirit against God, and allow such words to go out of your mouth? What is man, that he should be pure? Or he who is born of a woman, that he should be righteous? Behold, he puts no faith in his holy ones, and the heavens are not pure in his sight. How much less one who is abominable and corrupt? Man who drinks unrighteousness like water. I will tell you, listen to me. And what I have beheld I will also recount, what wise men have told, and have not concealed from their fathers, to whom alone the land was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man rides in pain all his days, and numbered are the years stored up for the ruthless. Sounds of dread are in his ears, while at peace the destroyer comes upon him. He does not believe that he will return from darkness, and he is destined for the sword. He wanders about for food, saying, where is it? He knows that a day of darkness is ready at his hand. Distress and anguish terrify him. They overpower him like a king ready for the attack, because he has stretched out his hand against God, and magnifies himself against the Almighty. He rushes headlong at him with his massive shield, for he has covered his face with his fat, and made his thighs heavy with flesh. He has dwelt in desolate cities, in houses no one would inhabit, which are destined to become ruins. He will not become rich, nor will his wealth endure, and his grain will not stretch out over the land. He will not be able to depart from darkness. The flame will wither his shoots, and by the breath of his mouth he will depart. Let him not believe in emptiness, deceiving himself, for emptiness will be his reward, when his days are not yet fulfilled, and his palm branch is not green. He will drop off his unripe grape like the vine, and will cast off his flower like the olive tree. For the company of the godless is barren, and fire consumes the tents of the corrupt. They conceive trouble and give birth to wickedness, and their belly prepares deception. Job chapter 16. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Troublesome comforters are you all. Is there no end to windy words? Or what pains you that you answer? I too could speak like you. If your soul were in the place of my soul, I could compose words against you, and shake my head at you. I could encourage you with my mouth, and the solace of my lips could lessen your pain. If I speak, my pain is not lessened, and if I cease, what will go forth from me? But now he has exhausted me. You have made desolate all my company. You have shriveled me up. It has become a witness, and my leanness rises up against me. It answers to my face. His anger has torn me and hunted me down. He has gnashed at me with his teeth. My adversary sharpens his eyes to look at me. They have opened their mouth wide at me. They have struck me on the cheek in reproach. They have massed themselves against me. God hands me over to ruffians, and tosses me into the hands of the wicked. I was at ease, but he shattered me, and he has grasped me by the neck and shaken me to pieces. He has also set me up as his target. His arrows surround me. Without mercy, he splits my kidneys open. He pours out my gall on the ground. He breaks through me with breach after breach. He runs at me like a warrior. I have sewed sackcloth over my skin and thrust my horn in the dust. My face is flushed from weeping, and the shadow of death is on my eyelids. Why? Because there is no violence in my hands, and my prayer is pure. O earth, do not cover my blood, and let there be no resting place for my cry. Even now, behold, my witness is in heaven, and my advocate is on high. My friends are my scoffers, my eye weeps to God. Oh, that a man might argue with God, as a man with his neighbor, for when a few years are past, I shall go the way of no return. Job chapter 17. My spirit is broken, my days are extinguished, the grave is ready for me. Surely mockers are with me, and my eye gazes on their provocation. Establish now a pledge for me with yourself. Who is there that will clap my hand in pledge? For you have hidden their heart from insight. Therefore you will not exalt them. He who informs against friends for a share of the spoil. The eyes of his children also will come to an end. But he has made me a byword of the people, and I am one at whom men spit. My eye has also grown dim because of grief. and all my members are as a shadow. The upright will be appalled at this, and the innocent will stir up himself against the godless. Nevertheless, the righteous will hold to his way, and he who has clean hands will grow mightier and mightier. But come again, all of you now, for I do not find a wise man among you. My days are past. My plans are torn apart, even the wishes of my heart. They make night into day, saying, the light is near in the presence of darkness. If I hope for Sheol as my home, I make my bed in the darkness. If I call to the pit, you are my father, to the worm, my mother and my sister. Where now is my hope, and who beholds my hope? Will it go down with me to Sheol? Shall we together go down into the dust? Job chapter 18. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, how long until you put an end to your words? Show understanding, and then we can talk. Why are we regarded as beasts, as dents in your eyes? O you who tear yourself in your anger, for your sake is the earth to be forsaken, or the rock to be moved from its place. Indeed, the light of the wicked goes out, and the flame of his fire gives no light. The light in his tent is darkened, and his lamp goes out above him. His vigorous stride is shortened, and his own counsel brings him down. For he is thrown into the net by his own feet, and he steps on the netting. A snare seizes him by the heel, and a device snaps shut on him. A rope for him is hidden in the ground, and a trap for him on the path. All around terrors frighten him, and harass him at every step. His vigor is famished, and disaster is ready at his side. The firstborn of death eats parts of his skin, it eats parts of him. He is torn from the security of his tent, and they march him in step before the king of terrors. There dwells in his tent nothing of his. Brimstone is scattered on his abode. His roots are dried below, and his branch is cut off above. Memory of him perishes from the earth, and he has no name abroad. He is driven from light into darkness, and chased from the inhabited world. He has neither offspring nor posterity among his people, nor any survivor where he sojourned. Those in the west are appalled at his fate, and those in the east are seized with horror. Surely such are the dwellings of the unjust, and this is the place of him who does not know God. Job chapter 19. Then Job answered and said, how long would you torment my soul, and crush me with words? These 10 times you have dishonored me. You are not ashamed that you wrong me, even if I have truly erred. My error lodges with me. If truly you magnify yourselves against me, and argue my disgrace to me, know then that God has wronged me, and has closed his net around me. Behold, I cry, violence, but I get no answer. I shout for help, but there is no justice. He has walled up my way so that I cannot pass, and he has put darkness on my paths. He has stripped my honor from me, and removed the crown from my head. He breaks me down on every side, and I am gone, and he has uprooted my hope like a tree. He has also kindled his anger against me, and counted me as his adversary. His troops come together, and build up their way against me, and camp around my tent. He has removed my brothers far from me, and my acquaintances are completely estranged from me. My relatives have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. Those who sojourn in my house and my maidservants count me a stranger. I am a foreigner in their sight. I call to my servant, but he does not answer. I have to implore him with my mouth. My breath is offensive to my wife, and I am loathsome to my own brothers. Even young children reject me. I rise up, and they speak against me. All the men of my counsel abhor me, and those I love have turned against me. My bone clings to my skin and my flesh, and I have escaped only by the skin of my teeth. Pity me, O you my friends, for the hand of God has smitten me. Why do you persecute me as God does, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book, that with an iron stylus and lead, they were engraved in the rock forever. As for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will rise up over the dust of this world, even after my skin is destroyed. Yet from my flesh I shall behold God, whom I myself shall behold, and whom my eyes will see and not another. My heart faints within me. If you say, how shall we persecute him? And the root of the matter is found in him. Then be afraid of the sword for yourselves. For wrath brings the punishment of the sword, so that you may know there is judgment. Job chapter 20. Then Zophar the Naamathite answered and said, therefore my disquieting thoughts make me respond, even because of my haste within me. I listen to the discipline which dishonors me, and the spirit of my understanding makes me answer. Do you know this from of old, from the establishment of man on earth, that the shouts of joy of the wicked are short, and the gladness of the godless momentary. Though his loftiness goes up to the heavens, and his head touches the clouds, he perishes forever like his refuse. Those who have seen him will say, "Where is he?" He flies away like a dream, and they cannot find him. Even like a vision of the night, he is chased away. The eye which saw him sees him no longer, and his place no longer beholds him. His sons seek the favor of the poor, and his hands give back his wealth. His bones are full of his youthful vigor, but it lies down with him in the dust. Though evil is sweet in his mouth, and he hides it under his tongue, though he desires it and will not forsake it, and holds it to his palate, yet his food in his stomach is changed to the venom of cobras within him. He swallows up wealth, but will vomit it up. God will expel it from his belly. He sucks the poison of cobras. The viper's tongue kills him. He does not look at the streams, the rivers flowing with honey and curds. He returns what he has attained, and cannot swallow it. As to the wealth of his trading, he cannot even enjoy it. For he has crushed and forsaken the poor. He has seized a house which he has not built, because he knew no ease within his belly. In his covetousness, he does not let anything escape. Nothing remains for him to devour. Therefore his prosperity does not endure. In the fullness of his plenty he will be confined. The hand of everyone who is troubled will come against him. So it will be that he fills his belly, and God will send his burning anger on him, and will rain it on him while he is eating. He may flee from the iron weapon, but the bronze bow will pierce him. It is drawn forth and comes out of his back, even the glittering point from his gall. Bouts of dread come upon him. Complete darkness is held in reserve for his treasures. A fire unfanned will devour him. It will consume the survivor in his tent. The heavens will reveal his iniquity, and the earth will rise up against him. The increase of his house will depart. His possessions will flow away in the day of his anger. This is the wicked man's portion from God, even the inheritance decreed to him by God. Job chapter 21. Then Job answered and said, "Listen carefully to my speech, and let this be your way of consolation. Bear with me that I may speak, then after I have spoken, you may mock. As for me is my musing to man. And why should I not be impatient? Look at me and be appalled, and put your hand over your mouth. Even when I remember, I am dismayed, and horror seizes my flesh. Why do the wicked still live? Continue on, also become very powerful. Their seed is established with them in their presence, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from dread, and the rod of God is not on them. His ox mates and does not fail, his cow calves and does not miscarry. They send forth their little ones like the flock, and their children skip about. They lift up the tambourine and harp, and are glad at the sound of the pipe. They spend their days in prosperity, and suddenly they go down to Sheol. They say to God, "Depart from us. We do not even desire the knowledge of your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what would we profit if we entreat him? Behold, their prosperity is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How often is the lamp of the wicked put out? Or does their disaster fall on them? Does God apportion destruction in his anger? Are they as straw before the wind, and like chaff which the storm steals away? You say, God stores away a man's wickedness for his sons. Let God repay him so that he may know it. Let his own eyes see his decay, and let him drink of the wrath of the Almighty. For what desire does he have for his household after him? When the number of his months is cut off, can anyone teach God knowledge? In that he judges those on high. One dies in his full strength, being wholly carefree and at ease. His sides are filled out with fat, and the marrow of his bones is moist. But another dies with a bitter soul, never even eats anything good. Together they lie down in the dust, and worms cover them. Behold, I know your thoughts, and the plans by which you do violence against me. For you say, where is the house of the nobleman? And where is the tent, the dwelling places of the wicked? Have you not asked those who pass by along the way? And do you not recognize their witness, that the wicked is reserved for the day of disaster? They will be led forth at the day of fury. Who will declare to his face about his actions? And who will repay him for what he has done? While he is led forth to the grave, men will keep watch over his tomb. The clods of the valley will gently cover him. Moreover, all men will draw up after him, while countless ones go before him. How then will you vainly comfort me? Indeed, when your answers remain full of falsehood. Job chapter 22. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, Can a mighty man be of use to God, or an insightful man be useful to himself? Is there any pleasure to the Almighty if you are righteous, or profit if you make your ways perfect? Is it because of your reverent fear that he reproves you, that he enters into judgment against you? Is not your evil great, and your iniquities without end? For you have taken pledges of your brothers without cause, and stripped the clothing of the naked. To the weary you have given no water to drink, and from the hungry you have withheld bread. But the earth belongs to the mighty man, and the highly respected man inhabits it. You have sent widows away empty, and the might of the orphans has been crushed. Therefore snares surround you, and sudden dread terrifies you, or darkness so that you cannot see, and an abundance of water covers you. Is not God in the height of heaven? Look also at the distant stars, how high they are. You say, what does God know? Can he judge through the dense gloom? Clouds are a hiding place for him so that he cannot see, and he walks on the vault of heaven. Will you keep to the ancient path, which wicked men have trod, who were snatched away before their time, whose foundations were washed away by a river? They said to God, depart from us. And what can the Almighty do to them? Yet he filled their houses with good things. But the counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous see and are glad, and the innocent mock them, saying, truly those who rise against us are wiped out, and their abundance the fire has consumed. Yield now and be at peace with him. Thereby good will come to you. Please receive instruction from his mouth, and set his words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored, if you remove unrighteousness far from your tent, and put your gold in the dust, and the gold of Ophir among the stones of the brooks. Then the Almighty will be your gold, and choice silver to you. For then you will delight in the Almighty, and lift up your face to God. You will entreat him, and he will hear you, and you will pay your vows. You will also decree a thing, and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways. When some are cast down, you will speak with confidence, and the humble person he will save. He will provide escape for one who is not innocent, and he will escape through the cleanness of your hands. Job chapter 23. Then Job answered and said, even today my musing is rebellion. His hand is heavy despite my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come to his seat. I would arrange my case for justice before him, and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer, and discern what he would say to me. Would he contend with me by the greatness of his power? No, surely he would pay attention to me. There the upright would argue with him, and I would have escaped forever from my judge. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot discern him. When he acts on the left, I cannot behold him. He turns on the right, I cannot see him. But he knows the way I take. When he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot is held fast to his path. I have kept his way and not turned aside. I have not departed from the command of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my portion of food. But he is unique, and who can turn him? And what his soul desires, that he does. For he performs what is a portion for me, and many such decrees are with him. Therefore I would be dismayed at his presence. I carefully consider, and I am in dread of him. It is God who has made my heart faint, and the Almighty who has dismayed me. But I am not silenced by the darkness, nor thick darkness which covers me. Job chapter 24. Why are times not stored up by the Almighty? And why do those who know him not behold his days? Some move the boundaries. They seize and devour flocks. They drive away the donkeys of the orphans. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They push the needy aside from the road. The afflicted of the land are made to hide themselves altogether. Behold, as wild donkeys in the wilderness. They go forth seeking food earnestly in their work. The desert becomes for him a place of bread for his young ones. They harvest their fodder in the field, and glean the vineyard of the wicked. They spend the night naked, without clothing, and have no covering against the cold. They are wet with the mountain rains, and hug the rock for want of a shelter. Others snatch the orphan from the breast, and against the afflicted they take a pledge. Those poor ones walk about naked without clothing, and hungry ones carry the sheaves. Within the walls they produce oil, they tread wine presses but first. From the city men groan, and the souls of the wounded cry out, yet God does not pay attention to such offense. Others have been with those who rebel against the light. They do not want to recognize its ways, nor abide in its paths. The murderer arises at dawn. He kills the afflicted and the needy. And at night he is as a thief. The eye of the adulterer keeps watch for the twilight, saying, no eye will see me. And he keeps his face hidden. In the dark they dig into houses. They shut themselves up by day. They do not know the light. For the morning is the same to him as the shadow of death, for he recognizes the terrors of the shadow of death. They are insignificant on the surface of the water. Their portion is cursed on the earth. They do not turn toward the vineyards. Drought and heat seize the snow waters. So does Sheol those who have sinned. A mother will forget him. The worm feasts sweetly till he is no longer remembered. And unrighteousness will be broken like a tree. He feeds on the barren woman who does not give birth, and does no good for the widow. But he drags off the mighty by his power. He rises, but no one believes in his life. He provides them with security, and they are supported, and his eyes are on their ways. They are exalted a little while, then they are gone. Moreover, they are brought low, and like everything gathered up. Even like the heads of grain, they are cut off. Now if it is not so, who can prove me a liar, and make my speech worthless? Job chapter 25. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, Rule and dread belong to him, who makes peace in his heights. Is there any number to his troops? And upon whom does his light not rise? How then can mortal man be right with God? Or how can he be pure who is born of woman? Behold, even the moon has no brightness, and the stars are not pure in his sight. How much less mortal man, that maggot, and the son of man, that worm? Job chapter 26. Then Job answered and said, What a help you are to the one without power! How you have saved the arm without strength! What counsel you have given to one without wisdom! What sound wisdom you have abundantly made known! To whom have you declared words, and whose breath comes out from you? The departed spirits tremble under the waters, and their inhabitants. Naked is Sheol before him, and Abaddon has no covering. He stretches out the north over what is formless, and hangs the earth on nothing. He wraps up the waters in his clouds, and the cloud does not break out under them. He obscures the face of his throne, and spreads his cloud over it. He has marked a circle on the surface of the waters. At the boundary of light and darkness, the pillars of heaven tremble, and are astonished at his rebuke. He quieted the sea with his power, and by his understanding he crushed Rahab. By his breath the heavens are made beautiful. His hand has pierced the fleeing serpent. Behold, these are the fringes of his ways. And how only with a whisper of a word do we hear of him? But his mighty thunder, who can understand? Job chapter 27. Then Job continued to lift up his discourse and said, As God lives, who has removed my justice, and the Almighty, who has embittered my soul, for as long as breath is in me, and the Spirit from God is in my nostrils, my lips certainly will not speak unrighteousness, nor will my tongue utter deceit. Far be it from me that I should declare you right. Till I breathe my last, I will not remove my integrity from me. I hold fast my righteousness, and will not let it go. My heart does not reproach any of my days. May my enemy be as the wicked, and the one who rises against me as the unjust. For what is the hope of the godless when he is cut off? When God requires his soul, will God hear his cry? When distress comes upon him, will he take delight in the Almighty? Will he call on God at all times? I will instruct you in the power of God. What is with the Almighty I will not conceal. Behold, all of you have seen it. Why then do you speak with utter vanity? This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the inheritance which the ruthless receive from the Almighty. Though his sons are many, they are destined for the sword, and his offspring will not be satisfied with bread. His survivors will be buried because of the plague, and their widows will not be able to weep, though he piles up silver like dust, and prepares garments as plentiful as the clay. He may prepare it, but the righteous will wear it, and the innocent will divide the silver. He has built his house like the moth, or as a hut which the watchman has made. He lies down rich, but never again. He opens his eyes, and it is no longer. Terrors overtake him like many waters. A tempest steals him away in the night. The east wind carries him away, and he goes, and it whirls him away from his place. For it will hurl at him without sparing. He will surely try to flee from its power. Men will clap their hands at him, and will hiss him from his place. Job chapter 28. Surely there is a mine for silver, and a place where they refine for gold. Iron is taken from the dust, and copper is smelted from rock. Man puts an end to darkness, and to the farthest limit he searches out. The rock in thick darkness and shadow of death. He sinks a shaft far from habitation. Forgotten by the foot, they hang and swing to and fro far from men. The earth, from it comes food, and underneath it is overturned as fire. Its rocks are the source of sapphires, and its dust contains gold. The path no bird of prey knows. nor has the falcon's eye caught sight of it. The proud beasts have not trodden it, nor has the fierce lion passed over it. He sends his hand forth to the flint, he overturns the mountains at the base. He breaks out channels through the rocks, and his eye sees anything precious. He dams up the streams from flowing, and what is hidden he brings out to the light. But where can wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man does not know its worth, and it is not found in the land of the living. The deep says, "It is not in me," and the sea says, "It is not with me." Pure gold cannot be given in place of it, nor can silver be weighed as its price. It cannot be valued in the gold of Ophir, in precious onyx or sapphire. Gold or glass cannot meet its worth, nor can it be exchanged for articles of fine gold. Coral and crystal are not to be mentioned, and the acquisition of wisdom is above that of pearls. The topaz of Ethiopia cannot meet its worth, nor can it be valued in pure gold. Where then does wisdom come from, and where is the place of understanding? Thus it is hidden from the eyes of all living, and concealed from the birds of the sky. Abaddon and Deaf say, "With our ears we have heard a report of it." God understands its way, and he knows its place, for he looks to the ends of the earth, and sees everything under the heavens. When he set weight to the wind, and meted out the waters by measure, when he set a limit for the rain, and a course for the thunderbolt, then he saw it and recounted it. He established it and also searched it out. So he said to man, "Behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to turn away from evil is understanding." Job chapter 29. And Job continued to lift up his discourse and said, "Oh, that I were as in months gone by, as in the days when God kept me, when his lamp shone over my head, and by his light I walked through darkness, as I was in the prime of my days, when the intimate counsel with God was over my tent, when the Almighty was yet with me, and my children were around me, when my steps were bathed in butter, and the rock poured out for me streams of oil. When I went out to the gate of the city, when I took my seat in the square, the young men saw me and hid, and the old men arose and stood. The princes stopped talking, and put their hands on their mouths. The voice of the nobles was hidden away, and their tongue clung to their palate. For the ear heard, and it called me blessed, and the eye saw, and it gave witness of me, because I provided escape for the afflicted who cried for help, and the orphan who had no helper. The blessing of the one ready to perish came upon me, and I made the widow's heart sing for joy. I clothed myself with righteousness, and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind, and feet to the lame. I was a father to the needy, and I searched out the case which I did not know. I broke the fangs of the unjust, and snatched the prey from his teeth. Then I said, I will breathe my last in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root is spread out to the waters, and dew lies all night on my branch. My glory is ever new with me, and my bow is renewed in my hand. To me they listened and waited, and kept silent for my counsel. After my words they did not speak again, and my speech dropped on them. They waited for me as for the rain, and opened their mouths as for the late rain. I laughed with them as they could not believe it, and the light of my face they did not cast down. I chose a way for them and sat as chief, and dwelt as their head among the troops, as one who comforted the mourners. Job chapter 30. But now those younger than I laugh at me, whose fathers I rejected even to put with the dogs of my flock. Indeed, what good was the strength of their hands to me? Vigor had perished from them. From want and famine they are gaunt, who gnaw the dry ground by night in destruction and desolation, who pluck mallow by the bushes, and whose food is the root of the broom tree. They are driven from the community. They shout against them as against a thief, so that they dwell in the slopes of the valleys, in holes of the dust and of the rocks. Among the bushes they cry out, under the nettles they are gathered together. Wicked fools, even those without a name. They were scourged from the land. And now I have become their mocking song. I have even become a taunting word to them. They abhor me and keep a distance from me, and they do not hold back from spitting at my face, because he has loosed his bowstring and afflicted me. They have thrust aside their bridle before me. On the right hand their brood arises. They thrust aside my feet and build up against me their ways to disaster. They break up my path. They profit from my destruction. They have no helper. As through a wide breach they come. Amid the storm they roll on. Terrors are turned against me. They pursue my nobility as the wind, and my hope for salvation has passed away like a cloud. And now my soul is poured out within me. Days of affliction have seized me, At night it pierces my bones within me, and my gnawing pains take no rest. By a great force my garment is distorted. It seizes me about as the collar of my tunic. He has cast me into the mire, and I have become like dust and ashes. I cry out to you for help, but you do not answer me. I stand up, and you carefully consider how to be against me. You have become cruel to me. With the might of your hand you hunted me down. You lift me up to the wind and cause me to ride, and you melt me away in a storm. For I know that you will bring me to death, and to the house of meeting for all living. Yet does not one in a heap of ruins stretch out his hand? Or, in his upheaval, is there a cry for help because of them? Have I not wept for the one whose life is hard? Was not my soul grieved for the needy? When I hoped for good, then evil came. When I waited for light, then thick darkness came. I am boiling within and cannot be silent. Days of affliction confront me. I go about darkened, but not by the sun. I stand up in the assembly and cry out for help. I have become a brother to jackals, and a companion of ostriches. My skin turns black on me, and my bones burn with fever. Therefore my harp is turned to mourning, and my flute to the sound of those who weep. Job chapter 31. I have cut a covenant with my eyes. How then could I gaze at a virgin? And what is the portion of God from above, or the inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is it not disaster to the unjust, and misfortune to those who work iniquity? Does he not see my ways, and number all my steps? If I have walked with worthlessness, and my foot has hastened after deceit, let him weigh me with just scales, and let God know my integrity. If my step has turned from the way, or my heart followed my eyes, or if any spot is stuck to my hands, let me sow and another eat, and let my crops be uprooted. If my heart has been enticed by a woman, or I have lain in wait at my neighbor's doorway, may my wife grind for another, and let others kneel down over her, for that would be lewdness. Moreover, it would be an iniquity punishable by judges, for it would be fire that consumes to Abaddon, and would uproot all my produce. If I have rejected the justice of my male or female slaves, when they filed a complaint against me, what then could I do when God arises? And when he calls me to account, with what will I respond to him? Did not he who made me in the womb make him, and the same one fashion us in the womb? If I have held back the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel alone, and the orphan has not eaten from it, but from my youth he grew up with me as with a father, and from the womb of my mother I guided her. If I have seen anyone perish for lack of clothing, or that the needy had no covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he has not been warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have waved my hand against the orphan, because I saw my help in the gate, let my shoulder fall from the socket, and my arm be broken off at the elbow. For disaster from God is a dread to me, and because of his exaltedness I can do nothing. If I have put my confidence in gold, and called fine gold my trust, if I have been glad because my wealth was great, and because my hand had found so much, if I have looked at the sun when it shone, or the moon going in splendor, and my heart became secretly enticed, and my hand threw a kiss from my mouth, that too would have been an iniquity calling for judgment, for I would have denied God above. If I have been glad at the upheaval of the one who hated me, or exalted when evil found him, but I have not given over my mouth to sin, by asking for his life in a curse. If the men of my tent have not said, who can find one who has not been satisfied with his meat? The sojourner has not lodged outside, for I have opened my doors to the traveler. If I have covered my transgressions like Adam, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom, because I feared the great multitude, and the contempt of families terrified me, and I kept silent and did not go out of doors. Oh, that I had one to hear me. Behold, here is my signature. Let the Almighty answer me, and the indictment which my accuser has written. Surely I would carry it on my shoulder. I would bind it to myself like a crown. I would declare to him the number of my steps. Like a prince I would approach him. If my land cries out against me, and its furrows weep together, if I have eaten its fruit without money, or have caused its owners to lose their lives, let briars come out instead of wheat, and stinkweed instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. Job chapter 32. Then these three men ceased answering Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. But the anger of Elihu the son of Barashel the Buzite, of the family of Ram, burned. Against Job his anger burned because he was proving himself righteous before God. And his anger burned against his three friends because they had found no answer, and yet had condemned Job. Now Elihu had waited with his words for Job because they were years older than he. Then Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of the three men, so his anger burned. So Elihu the son of Bareshel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young in years and you are old. Therefore I was shy and afraid to tell you my knowledge. I thought age should speak, and increased years should make wisdom known. But it is a spirit in man, and the breath of the Almighty gives them understanding. The abundant in years may not be wise, nor may elders understand justice. So I say, listen to me. I too will tell my knowledge. Behold, I waited for your words. I gave ear to your reasonings. While you searched out what to say, I even carefully considered you. And behold, there was no one who reproved Job, not one of you who answered his words, lest you say, we have found wisdom. God will drive him away, not man. Now he has not arranged his words against me, nor will I respond to him with your words. They are dismayed, they no longer answer. Words have moved away from them. Shall I wait because they do not speak? Because they stand still and no longer answer? I myself will also answer my share. I also will tell my knowledge. For I am full of words, the spirit within my belly presses me. Behold, my belly is like unvented wine, not opened. Like new wineskins it is about to burst. Let me speak that I may get relief. Let me open my lips and answer. Let me now be partial to no one, nor flatter any man, for I do not know how to flatter, else my Maker would soon carry me away. Job chapter 33. However now, Job, please hear my speech, and give ear to all my words. Behold now, I open my mouth, my tongue in my mouth speaks. My words are from the uprightness of my heart, and my lips speak knowledge sincerely. The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. Respond to me if you can. Arrange yourselves before me, take your stand. Behold, I belong to God like you. I too have been formed out of the clay. Behold, no dread of me should terrify you, nor should my pressure weigh heavily on you. Surely you have spoken in my hearing, and I have heard the sound of your speech. I am pure without transgression. I am innocent, and there is no guilt in me. Behold, he finds reasons for opposition against me. He counts me as his enemy. He puts my feet in the stocks. He keeps watch over all my paths. Behold, let me answer you. You are not right in this, for God is greater than mortal man. Why do you contend against him? For he does not give an answer for all his doings. Indeed, God speaks once, or twice, yet no one perceives it. In a dream, a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, while they slumber in their beds, then he opens the ears of men, and seals in their discipline, that he may turn man aside from his conduct, and keep man from pride. He holds back his soul from the pit, and his life from passing over to death by a weapon. Man is also reproved with pain on his bed, and with unceasing contention in his bones, so that his life loathes bread, and his soul favorite food. His flesh wastes away from sight, and his bones which were not seen stick out. Then his soul draws near to the pit, and his life to those who bring death. If there is an angel as mediator for him, 1 out of 1,000, to declare to a man what is right for him, then let him be gracious to him, and say, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found atonement. Let his flesh become fresher than in youth. Let him return to the days of his youthful vigor. Then he will entreat God, and he will accept him, and he will see his face with joyful shouts, and he may restore his righteousness to man. He will sing to men and say, I have sinned and perverted what is right, but he has not done what is due to me. He has redeemed my soul from passing into the pit, and my life shall see the light. Behold, God does all these things twice, 3 times with men, to bring back his soul from the pit, that he may be enlightened with the light of life. Pay attention, O Job, listen to me, keep silent, and I will speak. Then if you have any speech, respond to me, speak, for I desire to prove you righteous. If not, listen to me, keep silent, and I will teach you wisdom. Job chapter 34. Then Elihu answered and said, hear my speech, you wise men, and give ear to me, you who know, for the ear tests words. As the palate tastes food, let us choose for ourselves what is just. Let us know among ourselves what is good. For Job has said, I am righteous, but God has removed my justice. Should I lie concerning my justice? My wound is incurable, though I am without transgression. What man is like Job, who drinks up mocking like water, but he travels in company with the workers of iniquity, and walks with wicked men? For he has said, it is of no use to a man, when he is pleased with God. Therefore listen to me, you men with a heart of wisdom, far be it from God to do injustice, and from the Almighty to do wrong. For he pays a man according to his work, and makes him find it according to his way. Truly, God will not act wickedly, and the Almighty will not pervert justice, who appointed him with authority over the earth, and who has laid on him the whole world, if he should set his heart on it, if he should gather to himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh would breathe its last together, and man would return to dust. But if you have understanding, hear this. Give ear to the sound of my speech. Shall one who hates justice rule, and will you condemn the righteous mighty one, who says to a king, vile one, to nobles, wicked ones, who shows no partiality to princes, nor recognizes the rich above the poor, for they all are the work of his hands. In a moment they die, and at midnight people are shaken and pass away, and the mighty are taken away without a hand. For his eyes are upon the ways of a man, and he sees all his steps. There is no darkness or shadow of death, where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. For he does not need to consider a man further, that he should go before God in judgment. He breaks in pieces mighty men without searching anything out, and sets others in their place. Therefore he recognizes their labors, and he overthrows them in the night, and they are crushed. He strikes them like the wicked, in a public place, because they turned aside from following him, and had no insight from any of his ways, so that they caused the cry of the poor to come to him, and that he might hear the cry of the afflicted. So if he keeps quiet, who then can condemn? So if he hides his face, who then can perceive him? He is above both nation and man altogether, so that godless men would not rule, nor be snares of the people. For has anyone said to God, I have borne chastisement, I will not work destructively any more. Instruct me what I do not behold. If I have done injustice, I will not do it again. Shall he repay on your terms, because you have rejected it? For you must choose, and not I, therefore say what you know. Men with a heart of wisdom will say to me, and a wise man who hears me. Job speaks without knowledge, and his words are without insight. Job ought to be tested to the limit, because he answers like wicked men. For he adds transgression to his sin. He strikes his hands together among us, and multiplies his words against God. Job chapter 35. Then Elihu answered and said, Do you think this is according to justice? Do you say, My righteousness is more than God's? For you say, What use will it be to you? What profit will I have, more than if I had sinned? I will respond to you, and your friends with you. Look at the heavens and see, and perceive the clouds, they are higher than you. If you have sinned, what do you accomplish against him? And if your transgressions are many, what do you do to him? If you are righteous, what do you give to him? Or what does he receive from your hand? Your wickedness is for a man like yourself, and your righteousness is for a son of man. Because of many oppressions they cry out. They cry for help because of the arm of many oppressors. But no one says, Where is God my maker, who gives songs of praise in the night, who teaches us more than the beasts of the earth, and makes us wiser than the birds of the heavens? There they cry out, but he does not answer, because of the pride of evil men. Surely God will not listen to an empty cry, nor will the Almighty perceive it. How much less when you say you do not perceive him? The case is before him, and you must wait for him. And now, because he has not visited in his anger, nor has he acknowledged transgression well, so Job opens his mouth vainly. He multiplies words without knowledge. Job chapter 36. Then Elihu continued and said, Wait for me a little, and I will show you that there is yet more to be said in God's behalf. I will take up my knowledge from afar, and I will ascribe righteousness to my Maker. For truly my words are not a lie. One who is perfect in knowledge is with you. Behold, God is mighty, but does not reject. He is mighty in the power of his heart. He does not keep the wicked alive, but gives justice to the afflicted. He does not withdraw his eyes from the righteous, but with kings on the throne. He has seated them forever, and they are exalted. And if they are bound in fetters, and are caught in the cords of affliction, then he declares to them their work, and their transgressions, that they have magnified themselves. He opens their ear to discipline, and says that they return from wickedness. If they hear and serve him, they will end their days in prosperity, and their years in pleasures. But if they do not hear, they shall pass away by a weapon, and they will breathe their last without knowledge. But the godless in heart lay up anger. They do not cry for help when he binds them. They die in use, and their life perishes among the cult prostitutes. He delivers the afflicted in their affliction, and opens their ear in time of oppression. Then indeed, he enticed you from the mouth of distress. Instead of it, a broad place with no constraint, and the comfort of your table full of fatness. But you were full of judgment on the wicked. Judgment and justice take hold of you. Beware lest wrath entice you to scoffing, and do not let the greatness of the atonement turn you aside. Will your cries keep you from distress, or all the forces of your power? Do not long for the night, when people vanish in their place. Be careful, do not turn to wickedness, for you have chosen this to affliction. Behold, God is exalted in his power. Who is a teacher like him? Who has appointed him his way? And who has said, you have worked out unrighteousness? Remember that you should exalt his work, of which men have sung. All men have beheld it, man looks from afar. Behold, God is exalted, and we do not know him. The number of his years is unsearchable. For he draws up the drops of water. They distill rain for his stream, which the clouds pour down. They drip upon man abundantly. Can anyone discern the spreading of the clouds? The thundering of his pavilion? Behold, he spreads his lightning about him, and he covers the depths of the sea. For by these he judges peoples. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with the lightning, and commands it to strike the mark. Its thundering declares about him. The cattle also, concerning what is coming up. Job chapter 37. At this also my heart trembles, and leaps from its place. Listen closely to the thunder of his voice, and the rumbling that goes out from his mouth. Under the whole heaven he lets it loose, and his lightning to the ends of the earth. After it a voice roars. He thunders with his majestic voice, and he does not restrain the lightnings when his voice is heard. God thunders with his voice marvelously, doing great things which we do not know. For to the snow he says, fall on the earth, and to the downpour of rain and the downpour of rains, be strong. He seals the hand of every man, that all men may know his work. Then the beast goes into its lair, and dwells in its den. Out of the south comes the storm, and out of the north the cold. From the breath of God ice is made, and the expanse of the waters is frozen. Also with moisture he loads the thick cloud. He scatters the cloud of his lightning. It changes direction, turning around by his guidance, that it may do whatever he commands it, on the face of the inhabited earth. Whether for correction or for his world, or for loving kindness, he causes it to happen. Give ear to this, O Job. Stand and carefully consider the wondrous deeds of God. Do you know how God establishes them, and makes the lightning of his cloud to shine? Do you know about the layers of the thick clouds, the wonders of one perfect in knowledge? You whose garments are hot, when the land is quiet because of the south wind, can you with him spread out the skies, strong as a molten mirror? Make us know what we shall say to him. We cannot arrange our case because of darkness. Shall it be recounted to him that I would speak? If a man says a word, will he indeed be swallowed up? So now men do not see the light which is bright in the skies, but the wind has passed and cleared them. Out of the north comes golden splendor. Around God is fearsome majesty. The Almighty, we cannot find him. He is exalted in power, and he will not afflict justice and abundant righteousness. Therefore men fear him. He does not regard any who are wise of heart. Job chapter 38. Then Yahweh answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkens counsel? By words without knowledge. Now gird up your loins like a man. And I will ask you, and you make me know. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me, if you know understanding. Who set its measurements? Since you know, or who stretched the line on it, on what were its bases sunk? Or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy, or who enclosed the sea with doors? When, bursting forth, it went out from the womb, when I made a cloud its garment, and dense gloom its swaddling band, and I placed boundaries on it, and set a bolt in doors. And I said, thus far you shall come, but no farther, and here shall your proud waves stop. Have you ever in your life commanded the morning, and caused the dawn to know its place, that it might seize the ends of the earth, and the wicked be shaken out of it? It is changed like clay under the seal, and they stand forth like clothing. From the wicked their light is withheld, and the arm raised high is broken. Have you entered into the springs of the sea, or walked in the recesses of the deep? Have the gates of death been revealed to you, or have you seen the gates of the shadow of death? Have you carefully considered the expanse of the earth? Tell me, if you know all this. Where is the way to where the light dwells? And darkness, where is its place, that you may take it to its territory? and that you may discern the paths to its home. You know, for you were born then, and the number of your days is great. Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or have you seen the storehouses of the hail, which I have reserved for the time of distress, for the day of war and battle? Where is the way that the light is divided, or the east wind scattered on the earth? Who has cleft a conduit for the flood, or a way for the thunderbolt, to bring rain on a land without people, on a desert without a man in it, to satisfy the waste and desolate land, and to make the growth of grass to sprout? Has the rain a father, or who has begotten the drops of dew, from whose womb has come the ice, and the frost of heaven, who has given it birth? Water becomes hard like stone, and the surface of the deep is interlocked. Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades, or loose the cords of Orion? Can you lead forth a constellation in its season, and guide the bear with her satellites? Do you know the statutes of the heavens, or fix their rule over the earth? Can you raise your voice up to the clouds, so that an abundance of water will cover you? Can you send forth lightnings that they may go, and say to you, here we are, who has given wisdom in the innermost being, or given understanding to the mind? Who can count the clouds by wisdom, or tip the water jars of the heavens? When the dust hardens into a mass, and the clods stick together, can you hunt the prey for the lion, or fulfill the appetite of the young lions? When they crouch in their dens, and lie in wait in their lair, who prepares for the raven its provision, when its young cry for help to God, and wander about without food? Job chapter 39. Do you know the time the mountain goats give birth? Do you keep watch over the calving of the deer? Can you count the months they fulfill? Or do you know the time they give birth? They kneel down. They bring forth their young. They send out their labor pains. Their children become strong. They grow up in the open field. They leave and do not return to them. Who sent out the wild donkey free, and who loosed the bonds of the swift donkey, for whom I have set the desert plain as a home, and the salt land as his dwelling place? He laughs at the tumult of the city. The shoutings of the driver he does not hear. He explores the mountains for his pasture, and searches after every green thing. Will the wild ox consent to serve you, or will he spend the night at your manger? Can you bind the wild ox in a furrow with ropes, or will he harrow the valleys after you? Will you trust him because his power is great, and leave your labor to him? Will you believe him that he will return your seed of grain, and gather it from your thrashing floor? The ostrich's wings flap joyously, but are they the pinion and plumage of a stork? For she leaves her eggs to the earth, and warms them in the dust, and she forgets that a foot may crush them, or that a beast of the field may trample them. She treats her children cruelly, as if they were not hers. Though her labor be empty, she is without dread, because God has made her forget wisdom, and has not given her a share of understanding. When she raises herself up high, she laughs at the horse and his rider. Do you give the horse his might? Do you clothe his neck with a mane? Do you make him leap like the locust? His splendid snorting is terrible. He paws in the valley and rejoices in his power. He goes out to meet the weapons. He laughs at dread and is not dismayed, and he does not turn back from the sword. The quiver rattles against him, the flashing spear and javelin. With shaking and rage, he races over the ground, and he does not stand still at the sound of the trumpet. As often as the trumpet sounds, he says, Aha! And he scents the battle from afar, and the thunder of the commanders, and the shout of war. Is it by your understanding that the hawk soars, stretching his wings toward the south? Is it at your command that the eagle goes on high, and raises his nest high? On the cliff he dwells and lodges, upon the rocky crag a fortress. From there he spies out food, his eyes see it from afar. His young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is he. Job chapter 40. Then Yahweh answered Job and said, Will the fault finder contend with the Almighty? Let him who reproves God answer it. Then Job answered Yahweh and said, Behold, I am insignificant. What can I respond to you? I place my hand over my mouth. Once I have spoken, and I will not answer, even twice, and I will add nothing more. Then Yahweh answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Now gird up your loins like a man. I will ask you, and you make me know. Will you really annul my judgment? Will you condemn me that you may be justified? Or do you have an arm like God? And can you thunder with a voice like his? Adorn yourself with exaltation and loftiness, and clothe yourself with splendor and majesty. Pour out the overflowings of your anger, and look on everyone who is proud, and make him low. Look on everyone who is proud, and humble him, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, bind their faces in the hidden place. Then I will also praise you, that your own right hand can save you. Behold now Behemoth, which I made along with you. It eats grass like an ox. Behold now its power in its loins, and its vigor in the muscles of its belly. It hangs its tail like a cedar, the sinews of its thighs are knit together. Its bones are tubes of bronze, its limbs are like bars of iron. It is the first of the ways of God. Let its maker bring near its sword. Surely the mountains bring it food, and all the beasts of the field play there. Under the lotus plants it lies down, in the hidden place of the reeds and the marsh. The lotus plants cover it with shade, the willows of the brook surround it. If a river oppresses, it is not alarmed. It is secure, though the Jordan bursts forth to its mouth. Can anyone capture it before its eyes? With snares can anyone pierce its nose? Job chapter 41. Can you draw out Leviathan with a fishhook, or press down its tongue with a cord? Can you put a rope in its nose, or pierce its jaw with a hook? Will it make many supplications to you, or will he speak to you soft words? Will it cut a covenant with you? Will you take it for a slave forever? Will you play with it as with a bird? Or will you bind it for your young women? Will the traders bargain over it? Will they divide it among the merchants? Can you fill its skin with harpoons, or its head with fishing spears? Place your hand on it, remember the battle. You will not do that again. Behold, his expectation is a lie. Will he be laid low even at the sight of it? No one is so fierce that he dares to arouse it. Who then is he that can stand before me? Who is given to me that I should repay him? Whatever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not keep silence concerning its limbs, or its mighty strength, or its graceful frame. Who can strip off its outer armor? Who can come with its doubled bridle? Who can open the doors of its face? Around its teeth there is dreadful terror. Its strong scales are its pride. Shut up as with a tight seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They cling one to another. They are interlocked and cannot be separated. Its sneezes flash forth light, and its eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of its mouth go burning torches. Sparks of fire leap forth. Out of its nostrils smoke goes forth, as from a boiling pot and burning reeds. Its breath kindles coals, and a flame goes forth from its mouth. In its neck lodges strength, and dismay leaps before it. The folds of its flesh cling together, hardened upon it and is not shaken. Its heart is as hard as a stone, even as hard as a lower millstone. When it raises itself up, the mighty fear. Because of the crashing, they are bewildered. The sword that reaches it cannot avail, nor the spear, the dart, or the javelin. It regards iron as straw, bronze as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make it flee. Sling stones are turned into stubble for it. Clubs are regarded as stubble. It laughs at the rattling of the javelin. Its underparts are like sharp potsherds. It spreads out like a thrashing sledge on the mire. It makes the depths boil like a pot. It makes the sea like a jar of ointment. Behind it, it makes a wake to shine. One would think the deep to be gray-haired. There is nothing upon the dust like it. One made without terror. It looks on everything that is high. It is king over all the sons of pride. Job chapter 42. Then Job answered Yahweh and said, I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. Who is this that hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore I have declared that which I did not understand, things too marvelous for me, which I did not know. Hear now, and I will speak. I will ask you, and you make me know. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. Therefore I reject myself, and I repent in dust and ashes. Now it happened after Yahweh had spoken these words to Job, that Yahweh said to Eliphaz the Temanite, My anger burns against you and against your two friends, because you have not spoken of me what is right as my servant Job has. So now take for yourselves 7 bulls and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up a burnt offering for yourselves, and my servant Job will pray for you. For I will accept him, so that I may not do with you according to your folly, because you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. So Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite went, and did as Yahweh told them. And Yahweh accepted Job. And Yahweh restored the fortunes of Job when he prayed for his friends, and Yahweh increased all that Job had twofold. Then all his brothers and all his sisters and all who had known him before came to him, and they ate bread with him in his house. And they consoled him and comforted him for all the calamity that Yahweh had brought on him. And each one gave him 1 kessedah, and each a ring of gold. And Yahweh blessed the latter days of Job more than his beginning. And he had 14,000 sheep, and 6,000 camels, and 1,000 pairs of oxen, and 1,000 female donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he named the first Jemimah, and the second Keziah, and the third Keren-Happuch. Now in all the land, no women were found so beautiful as Job's daughters, and their father gave them inheritance among their brothers. And after this, Job lived 140 years and saw his sons and his grandsons, 4 generations. Then Job died, an old man and full of days.